reversed the concept. You have reversed the concept.
I was trying to get that to like seamlessly play right after the countdown. It's just going to be our nice little beginning into the show. But anyways, welcome to When in Rome. We've been on a little bit of a hiatus. Life is life, and it's been a weird 2 weeks. Anyways, I am Michael Oden, your illustrious co-host, creator and founder of Nine Realms Publishing, and writer of projects such as Elysian Fields, The Embrace, SPQR's Bizarre Adventure, and Judex, which I'll pull up the sign up for towards the end of the stream for all of 0 viewers right now. I know everybody.
They're coming. They're coming.
We're too full. We're too full to too school for cool today. But
absolutely.
Anyways, I spoke too soon. Who do we have? We've got Dean. Dean is joined the chat. Comics Mate is going, aha! Welcome, Dean. We have a great show today. But before I go any further into that, Matt, go on ahead and introduce yourself for our one guest who probably already knows you, but for the sake of the replay, introduce yourself in case somebody hasn't met you.
Yeah, my name's Matt C, and I'm the creator of Kyrie, Wild Tales of Kyrie, Kyrie books 1, 2, and 3. I do coloring on other books in this circle, and yeah, I'm a big fan, just like Ogden here. I'm a big fan of ancient Rome. So,
absolutely. All right. Well, today we actually have a great video. We have a great topic to talk about, and it's not going to be our standard thing where we go and we like roast the shit out of some bad take. There's actually been some like really cool news in the realm of ancient Roman archaeology. And it was brought up by our friend of the show and fantastic antiquities social media extraordinaire, Pax Romana, otherwise known as Daily Updates on Rome. Spoiler alert, it's gone. I know it's heartbreaking, but we all have to cope.
It's gone? What do you mean it's gone?
It's never truly gone, Matt, because it's always in our hearts. Rome is always here.
Oh, Rome is. Oh, yeah.
not the chicken.
Okay, it's still gone. Yeah. That was last. Yeah.
Yes, it did. We have Aldous has joined us in the chat, so we're up to 2 people in the chat. Woo! We are crushing Beautiful. It. But.
Stunning.
Anyways, we do have, as I said, we have a very exciting show. And so it all kind of started because of Daily Roman Updates had posted up this video, which, hold on, we're going to get up.
Stop what you're doing. There is breaking news in archaeology that could quite literally change what we know about Trajan's military campaigns. Okay, so Trajan was a Roman emperor, and he was super famous for having the Roman Empire at the greatest extent. Like this thing.
So before she goes any further, I will say that this discovery, while very fascinating that she's about to go into, it doesn't really change much of anything that we know about Trajan's military campaigns. But it is a really cool thing because it does redefine some preconceived notions about a specific client state of Rome. So before we go further into that, we have been joined by Aldous, but we've also been joined by Creators Outlet. Will, hello, good sir. Good to see you. But yeah, so we're getting back to it. So she's going to explain what exactly this archaeological discovery is, and then I actually have the article that she's referencing. So we'll go over that, and we'll take a kind of look at the map of Rome. So she has it back here in the background, but I have a better map that kind of showcases how Rome has expanded over its imperial timeline and what territories are specifically being talked about here. So let's continue.
Was huge. The Roman Near East was like super complicated, but we're talking about this area here, which was Nabatea, also known as the place of the people who built Petra and Medeian Sala, or well, this is Medeian Sala, but you get it. These kinds of really cool rock cut buildings, these are actually tombs.
They are
Anywho,
very
we
pretty.
don't know how the Nabateans ended. See, when the Romans took over this region, they let the kings in Nabatea stay in charge, probably because it was easier to just let them continue.
This was a very common Roman practice. It's not something that's like super mind-boggling. It was a thing that was done by most conquerors that actually knew what they were doing. You allowed things to continue that so long as they swore fealty to whatever imperial faction you were a part of. You let them maintain their autonomy, because don't mess with the wheel that's turning. Right, like this is what Alexander did in Persia when he conquered. He allowed many of the satraps to maintain their positions and continue running the lands that they had been running under Darius, so long as they swore their fealty to him. It was no issue. It's the same thing with Rome. So like her saying that this is like her talking about this like this is a big mystery as to why Rome would allow this is kind of silly, but yeah, anyways.
As they were. This is a Roman silver coin called a denarius, and it's showing one of the kings, King Aretas, in a position of subjugation with his camel and his olive branch, and you get the picture. This whole client-king relationship continues for ages until it doesn't in AD 106, also known as annexation. You see, we know the Nabatean kingdom ended, but we're not quite sure why. We think that a Nabatean king died and then just didn't leave an heir or left his kingdom to Rome, because that's something that happened. One of the people that did that was Boudicca's husband, Queen Boudica of the Iceni in Britain. Anywho, historians had assumed that it was a peaceful transition, but new evidence is suggesting it was more violent than we previously guessed, because they found military camps, and they were initially found using...
She's so excited about that. It's great.
I mean, it's a really cool story, and we'll look at that here in a minute. The story is really cool, especially the fact that they found it using Google Maps is pretty impressive. We will talk about how much this actually brings in the possibility of some sort of military conquest of Nabatea, or like a military style annexation, or whether or not it was more of a, the dynasty died out and they became fully annexed into the empire. We will discuss that here in a moment once we finish her video and go through the actual article. Real quick though, we do have some stuff going on in the chat.
Exciting.
So first we have our first question of the evening. Where's the Embrace 2? The script's done for the most part. I've got to rework our epilogue, but that's like literally less than 5 pages. So like, I'm not worried about that. The main story of the book is done. So it's just a matter of, Dean getting through the art and everything like that. I'm working on putting together the campaign. We had a bit of a thing. I almost had to take down our pre-launch campaign for the Embrace 2 because it had doxed my address.
Oof.
And so I contacted Indiegogo and yelled at them profusely, and they fixed it. So it is no longer doxing my address,
That's good.
which is nice. But Dean follows up with excellent question. Well, Dean, ball's in your court.
Uh-oh.
Dear God, this is still a thing. Yes, Crazy Mad, we still do this. You should rotate wheels that turn regularly, not leave them alone. You know what? A violent Roman transition. I'm shocked. Shocked, I say. No, like it's definitely not something that's like super out of the ordinary. But I also think that, and I will get to this more when we actually read the article, because it's going to go more in depth to what she's talking about. Because this is just like a short TikTok video, right? Like she's not going in and talking about all the findings, but like I do think that this might be jumping to conclusions.
Yeah.
All right, this girl looks like she'd be happy about them casting a Black Caesar. So we are only waiting on Dean. I'll yell at him every day. There you go. But now you're shadow banned. Yeah, probably. Timestamp the promise Ogden just made. He's going to get sidetracked and forget. Oh God, what promise did I just make? I feel like this just became a self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay. Anyways, so
military camps in the Jordan and Saudi Arabia border, aka some Roman soldiers were on their way into Nabatean territory. There they are.
okay, so we've watched that video. Before we go into the actual article, let's talk a little bit about the existence of Roman camps in that region and what that could possibly mean. I mean, obviously, yes, that could have meant that there was like a military style occupation, and they were putting down something, or they were conquering Nabatea or what have you. But it could also very well have been that those were auxiliary camps, and they were, stationed there as backups for Trajan's campaign in Parthia, as Nabatea is right there on the Jordan-Saudi border, and that would be a pretty convenient place to be reinforced. So, like we're about to go do a deeper dive. But Matt, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I guess what basically she's suggesting, there's some kind of hostile negotiations at play. Like, not that there was an all-out campaign in Nabatea, but that there was some kind of like projection of force into Nabatea to get that transition going. I
think that's accurate.
In theory, like, the principle of that isn't crazy, but it's like it's interesting. Like, you can tell, so it's a Roman fort because of how it's laid out, but can you tell who was occupying that? It could be auxiliaries, like you said. Like, there's a lot of ways to like interpret that. So
100%. But anyways, so let's take a look at the actual article. We've got some fun stuff going on in the chat. So
you guys are too much.
We got, would it be possible for Matt to speak? Yes. And I didn't even see this comment, but like, I knew that I had been kind of hogging some of the mic time, so I wanted to make sure I got my co-host to get some words in edgewise.
I'm sorry.
So the Muffin Man. I do. Is there archaeological evidence of a palisade? Not that I know of, but we'll find out here in a moment. It is definitely not my fault, Crazy Mad. Ogden, as usual, is trying to Bob Kane me. Not accurate. The script for the Embrace 2 has been done and passed its first editing pass for months. Our layouts are fine. The only thing that needs to be revised for the most part is dialogue. NM, he's awake. Never mind. Bob Kane Appreciation Society. President Michael Ogden wishes for you to always use his full title and all references at ComicsMate. Dean is the Steve finger. Whatever. Of course he does. And hashtag let Matt speak. Fair enough. Do you want to read the article? Do you want me to send it to you?
Yeah, let me do it. Actually, there we go.
All right, cool. I
got
you.
Listening to the chat.
I'll send it to you, and then I'll share a screen of the article once you're ready to go.
Okay, got the link. Opening. All right. You're sharing my screen, or you're sharing?
I can do either or. I've got it up on my end as well.
Bring it up on your end.
All right, cool. All right, so going ahead, give us that title there, bud.
Yeah, using Google Earth Pro, archaeologists have discovered unusual Roman military camps in Saudi Arabia. There were previously just 4 known Roman camps across Jordan, making this a significant find. Yeah, it looks pretty Roman to me, don't you think?
Well, yeah, no, like I have no doubt that the archaeological evidence suggests that there are Roman camps out there. The big thing that's going to determine this is what period are these Roman camps from, and B, how much activity archaeologically can be found around the camps. Because like, if this is just a local garrison of Auxilia, you'll probably see some archaeological evidence of training in and around the camps, but you're not going to really see much military movement. If this was a full-on military campaign, there will be some heavy archaeological evidence to suggest any sort of large-scale formation movements, stuff like that. So like we'll see. So let's find out some more. Let's scroll down and keep it going.
All right. Archaeologists have found 3 previously unknown Roman military camps in what is today Saudi Arabia, which they believe may have been an undocumented part of a campaign to annex the Nabatean kingdom that began in the year CE 106. Working as part of the Endangered Archaeology in the Middle East and North African EMENA project at the University of Oxford, the scientists have open source satellite imagery from sources like Google Earth Pro. More yada yada, citing sources. Prior to our new paper, there were only 4 known contemporary Roman army camps from across Jordan. So these 3 new camps identified by our survey is an important addition. What is particularly unusual is the identification of these new camps running in a straight line with near identical distances between the camps, allowing us to confidently infer that they were linked as part of a single campaign and be able to assert that they're likely target of Dumat al-Janal in Saudi Arabia, which is indicated in the map, kind of just east of if you just follow the line of the 3 camps, I suppose. The camps exhibited telltale indications of Roman design, including a playing card shape and symmetrical entrances, and are located on the barren west side of the valley Sirhan. There are almost no remains of any nearby structures, suggesting that the land had remained relatively untouched. Historical sources indicate a caravan route that would mirror the route between the camps, suggesting the camps might have allowed the element of surprise to an attack on the Joff region, or allowed a flanking maneuver in a broader campaign. See, that's interesting that they're trying to figure out what the strategy was to have these.
This very well may be proof of Aurelian's invasion against Zenobia. Just doing some background research on Dumat al-Jandal.
Oh, that's rad.
So,
yeah, like what's okay? It's 106. Yeah.
So effectively, reading the pre-Islamic history write-up, the main thing that comes up from the Romans is in 106 AD, Dumatha was incorporated into the Roman Empire in the last when the Emperor Trajan defeated the Nabateans. So, like, this could be a part of Trajan's Nabatean campaign, which I guess would be like, all right, well, that explains where is that. But it was in 269 AD, the place was mentioned by Zenobia as a city with an immune fortress, and after her forces captured the city, the fortress of Merid withstood the attack in her revolt against the Romans. Later in the 5th century, the city became the capital of the kingdom of Kinda. So, I mean, more than likely, it's probably part of Trajan's invasion of 106. But I guess the question is that in that initial TikTok video, she was talking about how the Nabateans were, peacefully annexed initially and allowed to rule autonomously, but then they just kind of stopped existing and there wasn't much record. But it seems to be that there is plenty of record of Trajan invading. So this isn't much of a change of history so much as a reinforcing of what is already known and proving that Trajan did in fact fight the Nabateans. So
it's interesting with sites like this if there's just nothing except a footprint. Like how do you date that? You know, like I would imagine that the Roman, like a camp footprint, might look slightly different, you know, in 270 AD than 110. But
yeah, well, I
know,
mean, by that
guess.
point, I'd absolutely agree with you to an extent. I think that field camps probably looked pretty similar, but I do know that, you know, by the time of Aurelian in the 3rd century, the Roman military had kind of shifted from the reliance of heavy infantry and legions and was gearing more towards the use of heavier cavalry and horse archers because of the enemies that they were contending with, especially when you're looking at like the East and what have you.
Yeah,
this is really the rise of what you would see come about in the East Roman Empire, with, like, you know, the rise of Cataphract and Bucalari. So like what I will say is that it is a really cool archaeological discovery. Not to take anything away from the girl that did the initial video on that. It is a really exciting thing to find. And the fact that it was found using Google Maps is insane, and shows just how much we might be able to do from an archaeological standpoint with current satellite technology. And imagine, because, you know, there are places in the world where we know there was like immense historical events, but they don't really let people in to do digs. They don't want that stuff done, but you could use a satellite to try and verify certain sites. And this is a pretty solid basis for it, I think.
Yeah, and it's an encouragement for citizen archaeologists like ourselves to maybe
100%.
take advantage of Google Earth for the same reasons. There's nothing if that's all it took to locate it, at least initially. There's nothing that they did that we can't do.
Yeah, so the quote says that this research is important because it provides some of the clearest evidence to date that the Roman takeover of the Nabatean kingdom after 106 may not have been as peaceful as the surviving Roman histories suggest. So Trajan's fight with the Nabateans was in 106 CE. So these guys, I guess, are assuming that this structure, this fort, was post-Trajan. And if it's post-Trajan, it could be after Zenobia took it over and the Romans were launching a counter siege, or were going to, and then Zenobia got defeated.
That's a neat idea.
Because Aurelian stomped the shit out of Zenobia. That wasn't even much of a fight. That was Boudica 2.0, except it's in the East. But yeah,
it'd be interesting if more comes out on this to see.
This is definitely something to follow
there or something. Or
I'll definitely, and the article came out May 9th, 2023. So like this is pretty damn recent. This is really exciting stuff. We will be sure to follow up. I'm sure this means something is going off in the chat. Because Matt just started to chuckle.
I'm hoping that the chat is sharing our excitement.
Probably not. But I mean, it's
That's
whatever.
what
They're
made me
entertaining
laugh.
themselves in the chat. That's
Yeah.
what chat's there for. So, let's see. I believe we left off here with Aldous going 4 corners, 4 side. Yep, definitely Roman. I mean, fuck it. Why bother digging? Fair enough. Comics Mate says we want it to be perfect for the backers, the greatest campaign ever seen. Crazy mad perfection takes time, and that is accurate. I know Dean is working very hard, and like I know that I was like, my portion of the script is done for the most part outside of dialogue edits, but Dean is really being meticulous on this book and is trying to really put forward his A game to make sure that we outdo the first book in every way. And everything he's done so far has genuinely accomplished that. I believe we have 6 pages are completed at this point. I know Dean is also juggling other work projects and everything because, Dean, to his credit, has donated a lot of his pay on the Embrace too, and has invested it into the campaign for other things. And
Wow.
he's a great business partner to have in this, and fantastic artist and a good friend. So Aldous says, I heard that years ago somewhere. I'm not sure if that's in reference to Comics Mate or if it was something that I said that Aldous is trolling me about. That's a fairly asinine assumption. Yeah. What up, peeps? So we got Jeremy in the chat. Welcome, Jeremy. I don't really like pie, so don't worry. It won't take that long. Okay. Hail. Oh, I get it. All right. That's a targeted joke. I understood that reference. Yeah. Hail, Jeremy. I hear Ogden is making WWBKD bracelets for the campaign. I think I missed an acronym here. It's probably going to slap me in the face too. It's probably something super, super simple and super easy.
But is this a Bob Kane reference?
What would Bob Kane do? God damn it.
What is this?
It's
guys with your memes.
Anyways, well, first he'd take credit for everyone and push every problem off on Dean, like he's already done at Crazy Matt. And so Comics Mate is, of course, giggling about this. But anyways, that kind of catches up with the chat. I know that this has only brought us to 30 minutes on the show. Matt Kyrie is getting close to being shipped out at this point. You have a did you get your sample print in?
I got DHS notified me today that I have an advanced copy coming early next week. So
ooh, is the advanced copy being sent anywhere to get fondled and read?
Absolutely. Yep, it's getting I got a special deluxe reviewer's copy sticker I'm slapping on it, and I'm going to be mailing it around to some friends whose opinions I trust, who can help get the word out. And you're at the top of that list, buddy.
Woo! So excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Long time coming.
I'm really pumped up for the third book. Just getting to talk with Matt behind the scenes and kind of hear some of the things that are going on and see some of his artwork in this. I still can't get over. There's this one page where Matt was looking at putting it on the campaign. It was like, Matt, this is a beautiful page. Do not put this on the campaign. This needs to smack people in the face and surprise them. Like, it's so good.
How's Juden coming?
I hate you. Judex is doing very well.
I'm sorry. Someone, I feel like there was a lack of that in the chat, so maybe that was just subliminal.
Probably because Mo isn't here. God damn it.
How is Judex?
It's going very well. I'm about to pull up the sign up page. We ended up having to so effectively, and if there's anybody that's running campaigns right now, specifically pre-launches, be very careful and make sure that you're checking your pre-launch campaigns, because for a while Indiegogo was doxing people's addresses at the top of the pre-launch page with like the address that they had used to back on a previous book, and there was nothing you could do to fix it. I
Ridiculous.
sent so we when I was doing that with Neff, when Neff was running the pre-launch from his Global Frequency Studios page, it doxed his address for a bit. And we got that taking and so like Neff took down the pre-launch, and we've relaunched a new one under a new account, so that way that's not an issue. And and so yeah, Aldous is asking me is put up a Judex, a topic that has absolutely no direct tie to Rome, and that is true. But it is an active project of mine that we're doing pre-launch stuff for.
And the word is Latin, so
the word is Latin. The word is Latin. So we do have some direct tie to Rome, Aldous. But so this is our sign up page for Judex. We've got fantastic art by this guy Fabrizio Ugolini, who's done work for Heavy Metal Magazine. And it's got this just beautiful quality to it that makes it feel like, a black and white 1930s style film. And it really catches the ambiance and the atmosphere of what we're trying to go for in the book. And I'm really excited for this book to get out to you guys and for us to be able to share more. But until then, make sure you sign up for the pre-launch on that. I think Kyrie Volume 3, has that finally crossed 10K? Please tell me it's crossed 10K.
Yes, finally.
Good. Oh, thank goodness. Like talk about a campaign that deserved to be 5 figures within like a week.
Yeah, I got to work for it every single time. The landscape changes so much, in the turnover just with the whole landscape. There's always, every time you come back to the campaign, you got to start from scratch. So I'm so glad. Thanks for everyone who helped get it there.
Dean, now there's going to be What Would Bob Kane Do graffiti all over the city in the Embrace 2. That would make no sense, but I mean, fine, I guess. This has been congratulated upon by Crazy Mad. We got a Sugar Chris in the chat. Sugar, you coming in? I know that we're technically only like 30 minutes in, but like I really was expecting this to go a bit longer, but like the video was short, the article was really short, and also while it was like a cool find, people kind of blew it way out of proportion. Which is kind of anticlimactic, but I mean, sometimes that's how archaeological finds go. I did not say not. Fair enough, Aldous. For 2 writers, your reading comprehension is incredibly low tonight. Well, I am on my like 4th beer, so we're starting to feel it. This makes me long for the annoying TikTok history chick. Oh, that hurts a little bit.
Can we just give some credit to a Zoomer, a crazy manic dream girl Zoomer who actually was just interested in history and just wanted to be excited about it. Like that's kind of a W, I think.
It is absolutely a W. And what I will say is that TikTok, for all my gripes with it, has actually boosted a lot of historical content. History TikTok is a pretty big portion. It has like a pretty big following. Wow. And while there are certain content creators on that are laughable, at the very least, it is getting history talked about. And in my opinion, that is a win, because history is all about the conversation and is all about asking questions. So I will take that as a W, even if stuff that is apparently very, very minor gets blown way out of proportion, like way out of proportion, is what this kind of seems like.
Yeah.
It's kind of reaching at straws. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I know that so the Cleopatra documentary got released on Netflix. I haven't watched it
out.
yet. I don't think I will. But I do find it hilarious that an Egyptian YouTube channel of like Egyptian scholars, I think, did a counter documentary series on Cleopatra that they put together, like hour and a half documentary that they released yesterday that portrays Cleopatra properly, and is talking about like who she actually is, and is like, you know, we constantly view her through this lens of her sexuality and who she was romantic with, and not on her achievements. And I kind of rolled my eyes at that. I was like, yeah, her achievements of destroying her nation. Yes. Very accomplished.
Yeah. Having a fight with her brother and destroying the nation. Yeah.
So translation, Ogden did no show prep. I will admit to that. Like I got stuff together. But like,
he was a good boy.
I definitely did not do as much as I normally do because it has been a crazy past few weeks at work, and that's part of the reason why we shifted nights on things. In case people didn't know, both of the shows that I've been doing, Vive l'Empereur and When in Rome, have shifted a day. You know, Aldous hit me up and said that Monday, I believe it was Mondays we were doing before, weren't working anymore. Schedule got changed up, and that was all well and good. So we shifted that to Tuesday nights, and then I hit up Matt, and I was just like, I am just dead tired at the end of my Wednesdays. Wednesday is effectively like the Monday of my work week because I hybrid telework, so I go in 2 days in the office, Wednesday and Thursday. And Wednesday we have like our big company, like we have our team meeting where we're going through all of our bullet points. Like it's when I have to deal with my supervisors the most. It's where I'm, you know, pitching like ideas for social media marketing and this, that, the other. And so there's just a lot that I'm doing on Wednesdays. And so by the time I get home on Wednesday, I genuinely just want to roll over and fall asleep. So I was like, it's not fair to keep pushing these things off. Thursdays are a far more relaxed day of my work week, even though I'm going in. So I asked Matt if he'd be good with switching over to the Thursdays, and that's what we're doing.
Yep.
By boosted, you mean clearly support for the one that says Rome didn't exist. No, she actually got torn apart by History TikTok. The amount of history content creators on that platform that went after her directly and got blocked by her, and she tried to report them for like white nationalism. It's pretty funny.
I mean, but talk about the content. Like, I kind of wish she was back or someone like her. Like,
well, she comes back every now and again. Like the last time that she came out of her little shell was to talk about King Arthur, and we addressed that on stream a while back, and we had daily Roman updates on. We had Pax Romana, which was great show. But like, I'm sure she'll be mouthing off at some stupid thing, blaming the Catholic Church or the Spanish Inquisition for something new that they didn't have anything to do with. So, but yeah, we're coming up on 40 minutes. We're gonna end this show a little bit early tonight because I don't think that there's anything else really to talk about with this episode. But
yeah, we'll try to find something that gets us angry maybe next time.
I'm fine talking about. We still need to do that one. You had that tweet thread from a while back that was pretty cool. Like I like talking about like the interesting stuff too. It's just it's harder to find that content and make something more out of it, I guess would be the way to put it. We could do like the Hadrian special that I was talking about, where we talk about Hadrian's reductionism. Since I have the paper pending peer review that's going through the peer review process on it. But like that feels way more of me doing a lecture, and I think that while there is some of that in this, I feel like that ends up being less popular with the chat. And so I want to make sure that we're able to balance the engagement and everything. And on top of that, going through Hadrian's reductionism, and at least in the topic that I wrote on, would take at least 2 or 3 episodes, I think.
We'll find something up. Yeah, maybe it's.
I actually didn't realize. I forgot that that Dean's show is on Thursdays. I did. I did not realize that, but I do think that we're not in the same time window. But
I hope we're not streaming over Dean.
No, if we were streaming over Dean, he wouldn't be in our chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like 400 years old and nothing new happened. You know, here's the problem: is 400 years old. I mean, Rome was way longer back than that. But, anyways, point is, I think we're gonna call it quits for tonight.
Cool.
I forgot my co-creator show was on the same day. The most Bob Kane quote ever. Fair enough. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining us. Matt, it was a pleasure as always.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
And we will see y'all next week. We'll figure out a good show that we'll make sure that we're able to fill out the entire hour with. But until then, you guys have a good night. This upcoming Tuesday is the first episode of a many-part series. We don't know how long it's going to take because there's a lot of content to cover on Napoleon's Egyptian campaign on Vive l'Empereur with me and Aldous. So make sure that you're there for that. It's going to be great. And if you don't like hearing me talk, Aldous is probably going to be carrying a very good chunk of that because Aldous knows Napoleonic history better than I do. So
beautiful.
Yeah. Looking forward to next week's 15-minute review of an article. Egypt, bitches, it's going to rock. Both of our viewers are going to love it. Hell yeah. That's the enthusiasm we want. Anyways, you guys have a great night. Thanks so much for tuning in to When in Rome with Michael and Matt. We will see you next week, and we'll make sure that we over-deliver on the 15-minute review of an article.
Later,
Good night, guys.